Well. Here we are, exactly where I said we were going to be. That is, and welcome to the championship week of the BCS podcast. How was everyone's weekend? I guess we can start with Zach.
It was rough. It was like a roller coaster. It was rough, going down, and very great coming back up to end the weekend. So exciting for the future, which we'll get into just a little bit later. But it was all right. Could have been better, but
Yeah, we had a very good and very successful video. I'm checking the live analytics. We hit 900 views pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Very good for the channel. Probably one of my highest viewed hype videos in a long time.
So that was
shout out
cool.
to Zach for bringing the clout. I guess I'm like paying him to be on my goddamn channel. But Cozy, how was the weekend?
I'll just say that we have 365 days. 17 hours and 41 minutes as we started this podcast until high noon on November 30th, 2024.
See, it's very interesting.
But I'll eat
because
I'll eat a nice piece of humble pie. It's okay.
It's very interesting because the more that I've gotten into this rivalry and the social media side of it, I've heard the same things now for 2 straight years. But yeah, I digress.
I mean, hey, we lost 3 in a row. It's okay. Can't see us losing 8 in a row though. So
sure.
Is the streak at 7?
What? That was the longest.
Is that the longest streak of 7?
Like recently, yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, it was 8.
Oh, okay.
8?
Yeah.
So
whatever.
But yeah, nice to see that Sharon Moore now has the same amount of top 5 wins as James Franklin and Ryan Day. Great to see. The second best coach is my coordinator in the Big Ten. Pretty sick. But yeah, all in all, it was a very interesting game. And you kind of can just see it's almost like the roles are reversed the past few years, I think, especially with Michigan. Michigan coach to win. If you would have thought that there was a 3 or 4 point underdog in that game, you would have thought it was Michigan. Michigan went for it 3 times on 4th down.
Yeah.
Ohio State was punching for it on inches. Michigan just wanted it more.
They wanted it more. They pushed off for offense pass interference on a few 3rd down, but
Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, the penalties discrepancy was interesting as usual. Reviewing very interesting plays. I mean, acting like that Roman Wilson was an interception was one of the most disgusting reviews I've ever seen in my entire life. When it breaks the plane, and he ripped it from him. If it was a play in the field, of course it's a pick.
Here's
the goal.
Yeah. Okay. Here's the thing, and you said it exactly. If it was a play on the field, it was an interception.
Yes.
But the moment that he gained possession and crossed the goal line, even though the ball was moving a little bit, it was a dead ball, immediate touchdown.
Exactly. Yep. That's hard to argue.
Oh, JJ Noodle arm. That pass. Oh. If Mahomes did that, Chris Collinsworth would have lost all blood flow in his legs. I just want that on record. So, respect my goddamn quarterback.
Let's go through a couple games to start.
We'll bring it back.
First game on Friday, Iowa versus Nebraska in the lowest over-under in college history.
This
hit the under.
Awesome.
It was awesome. There was everything you can imagine. It's everything that you want from the Big Ten.
And I feel bad for people that cannot appreciate how good of a game that
was. Well, let's say this. How about that second quarter, though? You thought it was going to be a shootout for about 2 to 3 minutes in that game.
The live over hit 35.5. Okay.
Yes.
That's crazy.
It was a little interesting. Iowa pulled it out. 10-2 going into the Big Ten championship game.
Well,
so
we'll just pulled it out. Okay.
They made some miraculous plays.
Bash my head against the wall. Iowa has the ball, and your offense sucks, right? You take a timeout with 41 seconds left instead of letting the clock run out and taking a knee and going home.
Yeah,
that was insane, and just going overtime. Then what do? You drop back with your fullback quarterback. You throw a pass. This thing, there's always this narrative that, like, could a normal person complete a pass in college football? Yes. You look at Deacon Hill, okay? That's a normal person, okay? He completed the pass to the guy in red. The dude runs it back, whatever. Like 2 plays later, they throw a pick right back at him.
Yeah.
I don't know why both teams weren't playing for overtime. Trying to steal one was insanity. And then, what's it called? There was a crazy clock malfunction on the drive that benefited Nebraska. Oh, wait, they threw a pick. And then Iowa's got the ball back. Iowa, after getting 2 field goals blocked, goes, fuck it, let's put in our punter. And the walk-on punter drills the game winner. Nails. I mean, that game was unbelievable for the final 5 minutes.
Talk about just the most can we talk about Iowa for a second?
Mm-hmm.
They're 10-2.
Mm-hmm.
What in God's green earth ever would say that you're 10-2?
Yeah.
Like, them as a team is helter-skelter every week on offense. Defense is great. That's fine. But then what you think your team is about good special teams, everything like that, and they get 2 field goals blocked.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of feel bad for Nebraska because they're not going bowling, obviously. They had a shot to go bowling, and
Michigan State broke them.
No, Michigan.
They haven't won a game since. They haven't won a game since. I'm going with that. Michigan State broke them. They haven't won a game since.
Yeah, I'm just pulling up the total offense here, but we can. I mean, game. I think I know it wasn't the final Big Ten West game. I think it was for pretty much anyone that was going to watch. Because if you're watching a Big Ten West game over the games that were on, you're a sicko beyond belief.
Yeah.
I'm going to go right to page 3 out of 3 and then start looking for Iowa. I'm pretty sure they're like bottom 5. I'm sure that's not surprising to anyone that pays attention. But
can we just say this? The total yardage in that game was just over 500 yards by both teams.
Yeah.
Iowa finishes the year dead last in offensive efficiency. They are the only team in Power 5 to not have 3,000 yards on the season. They finished with 2,956 yards of the season. And again, I'm no math guy.
10-2. 10-2. 10-2.
Should have been 11-1. For being honest here.
Yeah.
They average 246 yards a game. That's unbelievable. They had 4 yards of play. I don't even know what this other stats are, but yeah.
I want a realistic scenario here. Let's say Penn State didn't have their mojo early on and had lost a squeaker to Iowa like 6-3 or something like that. Where do you rank Iowa if they had somehow pulled off a 12-0 regular season?
I mean, I don't even know.
Actually, we'll go back. Where do you rank Iowa if they're 11-1 right now? Are they playing at a possibility for the playoffs?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
Absolutely. I mean, right now they currently have a better resume than some teams, which is crazy.
Yeah. I'm like, that's an actual debate. That you look
who
at
would
this
you take? Seriously, who would you take? Would you take Florida State or Iowa? Like, just being deadly honest.
Iowa.
Hypothetically speaking, Florida State loses this week and they end up 11-1 or 12-1 or whatever it is, and Iowa beats Michigan. And let's say they only had the one loss, you're probably taking Iowa.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right now the projection is Iowa versus Ole Miss in a bowl game. I couldn't be more excited because Ole Miss is this hyped up team. I know it's my guy Lane. Me and Chap love my guy Lane. But when you look at it, if Iowa is able to beat the second best team in the SEC West and the third best team in the conference, after all that smack they were talking, the narratives will be unbelievably insufferable.
No, they won't be. They won't be because we've done this every year in bowl season. Every year we go match up Big Ten against SEC and we dominate them. And all their excuses are, sorry, but we sat our players. Our players sat. Our players didn't play. And it's like, well, sorry.
It doesn't mean more. It doesn't mean more because they're sitting.
Yeah. God, this is bad. I'm looking at the bottom 10 offenses, by the way. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Big Ten teams.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty tough. Michigan State comes in at 125. One of the worst behind Navy, too, right now. They still had 500 more yards and averaged 50 more a game.
What?
It's all over, Zach. You don't have to deal with this anymore.
It's all over.
It's all over.
Start fresh. It's all over. So yeah,
No,
let's
it's
move on.
not. We have to talk about it right now.
Yeah, I know we do. Let's move on to the next game. The nightcap.
It's not over. Sorry.
It wasn't really a game. Unfortunately, the team just looked like they were flat. The coaching, I mean, it was their last game coaching. They all had known at that point that they were getting canned. 42-0. It was 13-0 at halftime. So we kept it competitive. If we had some sort of offensive productivity, it would have been a little bit closer. We might have had some points, but it was just like we're running run plays on 3rd and 12 up the
Blake,
middle.
how was this game for you, Blake? Did you
Yeah.
attend?
So how did the game go, Blake?
As Michigan State is very famously known for, they're a pretty good party school. Had a great time by the DAC next to Tin Roof downtown. Somehow got home. Shout out, Dad. And I woke up in the middle of the night, saw it was 42-0. Went, glad I didn't miss anything. Went right back to bed. Great time.
Because he doesn't remember anything from the day.
I went to bed when it was 13-0. Woke up and I checked the score and I was like,
all right.
Saw a Snapchat from Zach and I was just like, oh.
Yeah, I literally woke up, looked at the game, and went, okay, it's 42-0, and then it's 57-7 Texas, and then it's a blowout in the Civil War. And I was like, great time to go to bed. And it was, I would have missed the pregame jitters because normally I'd been like, I can't even sleep. I'm worried about tomorrow morning. It was perfect. Great way to sleep through. Woke right up. No problem. Ready to roll.
Yeah, ready to roll. All right. Then we'll move to Saturday. We'll skip the last one between you guys.
I will say real quick. Penn State did hire the Kansas OC
coordinator from
very interesting because they're more of a run first offense. I think it's very interesting that maybe they're not as trusting in Aller as we might think. I don't want to say it too loud. My Penn State people get mad at me, but they don't ask for him to do a lot there. I mean, I think they're going to be kind of turning into themselves in like a Michigan light. I know they kind of have been. I don't really know what the difference is between Ulrich and this kid, but
TK, I just want to let you know, Blake's shitting on your boy, so I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, your boy Drew Allard.
Oh, they all are. I mean, he played Michigan State. If you're not looking good at Michigan State, what are you doing? But
I mean, Kyle McCord even looked good against Michigan State.
Well, Kyle McCord lost this week. All right, moving on.
Imagine letting Michigan State score on you. Come on.
Purdue beat Indiana for an old Oaken bucket, 35-31.
By the way, I'd like to say, Zach, you could probably take the rest of these games because I don't think me and Blake watch any football.
No, I literally didn't watch a single.
Oh one. Well, I have no idea.
I watched the game. I watched Alabama Auburn.
Okay.
Nasty what Auburn was doing to Alabama.
We'll get into that because I watched that on the ride home.
Northwestern 45-43 over Illinois. Wisconsin 28-14 over Minnesota in
Minnesota's bowling.
Yeah.
Quick lane.
Wait, Minnesota is bowling officially?
Yeah, they're like the last team that made it somehow.
Okay. Academic requirements, goddammit. Big Ten, academic powerhouse. Ivy League junior, some people call it.
Yeah? Isn't that Northwestern?
No.
Northwestern's already bowling. Let's go. Yeah. Let's go, Wildcats. Let's go.
Maryland 42-24 over Rutgers. A bunch of games nobody watched. And then
all-time leading passer in the history of the Big Ten. Good for him.
Crazy.
Great time in Miami next year. Already in the portal.
All right. Let's get into it. The game. Ohio State traveled to Michigan. 30-24, the final score that Ohio State still hasn't posted. Post the dang score.
Never going to post.
Post the score. Let's get into it. Go ahead.
I'm getting 3 engagements.
We're down to 365, 17 hours and 28 minutes. So
go ahead, Cozy.
Like I said last week, no turnovers. That was the key to our game and winning this game. And if we don't turn the ball over, we probably end up winning the game. But unfortunately, there was 2 picks. I'll just say this: if Ryan Day doesn't get the rivalry, then I'm allowed to swear, right?
Yeah. Let's hear it.
Ryan Day doesn't get the rivalry, get the fuck out. Plain and simple. Get the fuck out. Do not expect to be head coach here. Looks like you're going to get one more chance because Gene Smith is leaving. I think you're getting a pass because of that. And
he had a great time in the game.
He doesn't want to have to do a coaching search. I mean, you're pretty much guaranteed a playoff spot every year now. I would say in a very rare instance, we would lose 3 games. We may not make it. But here's the thing. We also are – I know who we are, our brand. It's cash cow. You go 9-3. There's a very good possibility we get the last seed in. Very good possibility. Especially with the new Big Ten and especially with strengths of schedule, things like that. I'm just going to say right now, if you don't get this rivalry and the chirping, the body language from the team was very hyped at going into the game. I was very impressed. I was like, man, they look like they came out of the tunnel, and it was not doom and gloom. It was not let's sit on the sidelines and let's get our swag going and things like that. We've lost that edge since COVID hit. I can tell you that. 2019 Buckeyes, they had that edge. They still had the urban mindset behind them. Ryan Day kind of runs our program like an NFL team. He is NFL taught. He doesn't run it like a college team. He hasn't bought into you have traditions, you have rivalries, you have this. He's done away with senior tackle. He's done away with coaches coming in, players coming in to the facility to talk about Michigan the week of the game. I do know because Urban and Jim Tressel still are very close to the program. Yeah, they came in briefly, but it was a very shortened, brief moment. Players were bitching up a storm that wanted to go back. Like, you have players who want to go support this program, show what it means to be in this rivalry. And the thing is, the fans, the players, everybody like that, we all get it. We take this rivalry very serious. Right now, Ryan Day is an outsider. He's an outcast, and he's pretty much losing the fan base as we speak. Your lackluster effort and your stubbornness to keep putting someone out there who hasn't looked great and not really even work with him. I don't think he's worked that much with Cal McCord. I haven't seen the progression. Like, he looked good against Michigan State, and then he came out against Minnesota and looked terrible. And it's just one of those things where you played conservative, and it's like, just let it rip, because at the end of the day, if we lose by 2-3 touchdowns and you actually let it rip and he threw 4 or 5 picks, then we know he's not the guy. But you played so conservative that then you got into a 2-minute drill and we were actually moving the ball. I still think that fumble review at the end, like, that really killed our momentum, because Michigan got to take a break and it was like, shit. Like, I mean, look, that play needed to be reviewed. I agree, because it was very close to being a catch, not a catch, etc. But barring that, it's just one of those things where it's like, dude, you got to come out with a fucking fire on this game. Like, this is the game. This is the greatest rivalry in all of sport, and you just don't fucking get it. Like, you just don't get it. And if you don't get it, then leave my program. I don't want you as a head coach. I don't care what you do the other 11 games of the season. If you would have lost to Penn State this year and then come into this game and won in the Big House, and we were 11-1, and we didn't go to the Big Ten title, but let's say Penn State did because of the tiebreaker, I don't give a fuck. You still won the biggest game of the year. And guess what? We're probably looking at the playoffs right now, because I don't think they're going to be looking at Penn State going, and this Penn State team, like, had we lost like a fluke game against Penn State, people aren't going to be looking at like, oh man, Drew Lohr, like, he's this and that. And here's the other thing. We would have lost early enough where when Penn State would have lost to Michigan and then we would beat Michigan, we would have jumped Penn State. It's all a matter of perception. I'm just saying, you've got to win this game. He's got one more chance, or he goes takes an NFL job, which, to be very honest with you, I don't think that's out of the realm of possibilities. He's always been in the back of all of our heads, has been, maybe he'll jump to the NFL. That there was talk in 2020 that he was going to the NFL after that season. He didn't. He stayed. Now we lost 3 in a row. It's a must win next year for you, because next year we have no divisions. If we both go into this game 11-0 versus 11-0, guaranteed to play the next week, and you don't win, I don't even want you coaching the Big Ten championship game. I want you fired on the spot, and we'll roll with an intern coach in Indianapolis.
Because losing once would be bad, but losing twice back-to-back weeks would be even worse.
I don't want that. I just don't want that.
Yeah.
The other thing is, I'll just say, O-line has been a problem the whole year. Go hit the transfer portal. Michigan did not handle the line of scrimmage like I thought they would. It was not as bad.
They haven't all year.
What was it? 1 sack each team?
Yeah,
very limited.
1 sack each team.
It was running around.
Huh?
She was running around a lot back there.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we should have had a few more sacks. Jack Sawyer and JTT had a real. Honestly, our D line did not have a terrible game. I was actually the one time at points in the game that I was really impressed was when we ran 8 straight run plays down the middle, like in between the tackles, and went for a touchdown. I was like,
that was the only time I was worried the entire game.
Yeah, and when that happened,
I was seeing ghosts. I was like, I'm seeing J.K. Dobbins,
Yeah, and when that happened, I was like, man, that's his old Buckeyes football. Like this is Smash Mouth. We're running the football. Like we
next
just
drive 3 passes.
Yeah, next time just throw the ball.
But it's like, and I looked at the scoreboard and I looked at the stats, and it was we were winning the rushing battle, and I was like, okay, like we're back. Like this is now a game.
And then they went away from it.
And then we went away from it, and it was like I get you want it, you just can't run the ball every single play, but
why?
Do it until they stop it, and they weren't stopping us on the run. Our linemen's run blocking is much better than their pass blocking, and then you got into a hole. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, in the back of my head, I was like, okay, there's like a minute 30 left, and we're getting the ball back, and Kyle McCord's been clutch. And Marv caught a pass, and then Kate Stover. And then you had the catch with the fumble recovery by us. And I was like, oh my God, it bounced right to us. Like we're the luck guys. Like this is happening again. And if you look at the replay, our lineman holds up for another second. Marv is open. But once again, you waited until the end of the game to throw downfield at all. You waited. You literally waited until then. And everyone wants to blame Kyle. Look, he's not the greatest quarterback. He's not an elite quarterback. He's not a great quarterback. He's a good quarterback. There are levels to this in college football. Go get a quarterback in the transfer portal. Hit the transfer portal finally. That is your key, Ryan Day. Your key is to hit the transfer portal. Get me a tackle. Move Fryer to the guard, what he normally played. Get me another tackle to replace Simmons, and go get defensive linemen. But first and foremost, I don't need these 5-star guys. You look at your 5 stars and 4 stars, way too much. You can get these in recruiting classes. Get me coaches that care. Because when I hear that former player Brian Hartline and James Laurinaitis were the only 2 fucking people that were mad at halftime, replace everybody on the coaching staff. If they're not getting us hyped up, then get the fuck out. Jack Sawyer was more intent at halftime than the coaching staff was. A kid on the team, who is a leader, by the way, but was more intensified than your own coaching staff. If that's happening, get me all new coaches. I'm just going to say it. Jim Knowles going to Duke may be a blessing in disguise because he's new here. He doesn't get the rivalry, and he sat back and never blitzed. And yes, we were getting pressure, but if you blitz a little bit, maybe you get to JD 2 or 3 more times. Outside of that, it was pretty deflating to lose. I mean, if Florida State lays a goose egg, maybe you get in. Do I think they will? Yeah, I do. But I think Texas wins and they jump us, even though no one has ever come from the 7 spot up to the 4 spot. I don't know. I mean, if you want to go look at resumes, Texas really did not play a good schedule at all. But do we deserve to go? I mean, if you give me Ryan Day against Georgia again, hell yeah, you deserve to go. But if you give me Ryan Day against the big I mean, go look at even the Big Ten games that he plays. He's literally winning because of pure talent. We're literally sitting out there winning with pure talent. That's all he's doing. That's it. He's so conservative. And then you get to Michigan. And look, dude, Jim Tressel did that for years. One with pure talent. You sit back. And then Michigan, boom, just let it rip. Like he would just catch Michigan so off guard that they didn't even know what hit him. And everyone can say, oh, at the end of Jim Tressel, there was Rich Rod. And it's like, yeah, there was. But there was also Lloyd Carr for 7 years before that, who had Michigan as a 9-2, 10-1 team coming into Columbus or up in Ann Arbor every single year. And Jim Tressel went 6-1 against him. So it's just the thing is he just doesn't get it. And until he does, or if he doesn't ever get it, if he doesn't get it this year, get the fuck out. Like I said, I want him fired if he doesn't win in Columbus. I don't care if we're going to play them again in the Big Ten title game. I don't care if it's a 12-0 versus 11-1 and we're guaranteed a spot in the playoffs. Fire him before we get to Indianapolis that next week. Fire him. Promote Brian Hartline for interim coach for that in the playoffs, and then we'll go. I do not care.
All right, Blake.
Yeah, well, that's a pretty good breakdown from that side for sure. I thought there was a lot to be desired from Michigan's side. Again, we haven't really ran the football well at all this season. Our best success was right after the Zinter injury, which was a leg explosion.
I would think that was a very big turning point in the game. I really do. I think once that run went in, that kind of changed the momentum because it seemed like Ohio State was getting their momentum back, and they shifted right back. And then it went back to equal, and then it shifted super heavily on Michigan's side.
Yeah, but just from the get-go, it was kind of like what it was in 2021 where I was like, okay, feeling good. Again, I've been to a ton of Michigan-Ohio State games. This is the least amount of red I've ever seen. Normally, it's like 25% Ohio State fans. This was, I would say, outside of their allotment, 95% Michigan fans, if not better. Like there wasn't any just random Ohio State fans, really. It was them in the corner and top rung, and that was about it. Maybe a few guys in the student section you could see because people did really well with the maze out. You know, shout out Will Johnson, Jordan, my guy, of course. Be loud, wear maze.
Be loud.
People were loud and wore maze. I don't know if we're going to have him be the guy behind it all, but that was the best environment I think I've seen outside of the 2011 Notre Dame Under the Lights game. People were mad. I watched one or two Ohio State fans try to like sucker punch Michigan people walking in, idiot frat kids. So it's nothing like that. And then Michigan kid turned around, ate it, turned around, and then just proceeded to kill this kid, basically. So I've never seen Michigan fans fight back. We've got our swagger back. Ryan Day and his antics before the game have energized this franchise. Now, while they have not posted the final score, they still have the TikTok video up beforehand. Like I've said, Ohio State's more focused on TikTok dances. We're doing Oklahoma drills before the game. It is what it is. It means more to Michigan. Ohio State, the words right from the mouth of their quarterback is just another game. And that's okay. I mean, this is our Super Bowl. We're 365 caring about this game. Ohio State doesn't, clearly. I think it shows in every aspect of the game, basically. If you take out Jim Knowles' defense, this team is terrible. You get rid of, literally without Marvin Harrison, this game's a blowout. Obviously, I know that's just me being stupid, but I think we were better at pretty much every position group. As I said beforehand, Colson Loveland, the tight ends be the key to the game. Stover did catch Cash's over, but Loveland was an animal. Even AJ Barner is an animal. He had 2 catches, 25 yards, but he had that 18-yard catch on the Zach Zinter injury. After I almost had to disagree with Cozy when he said the guys looked hyped up before the game. It was a short bench. People weren't really moving much. They were a bit at the beginning, but after that pick, the Ohio State bench was barely moving. Even when Travion scored, it didn't even get loud. Like it was just kind of like, woo. Like I think a lot of people knew what was happening the whole time. I know a lot of Ohio State fans won't say it deep down, but I think it was, they didn't lead the entire game, right? So now 6 quarters since they've led in this game. It was a pretty interesting feeling. The great way to end it, I think this kind of adds on to Cozy's point, is how did the game end? Rod Moore, 3-star from Dayton, Ohio, was an Ohio State fan his entire life, loved Ohio State, dude was apparently uncontrollably like crying when he didn't get an offer to Ohio State, committed to Michigan and said they'll never beat us again. Update, he is 3-0 and looking to go to the NFL draft. So there's many guys like that. JJ is the exact same way. JJ wanted to go there, said they won't ever beat me again. 3-0. He might be coming back. There's a lot of guys in this roster, even in their post-game press conference, we're kind of talking about coming back. Roman Wilson can come back. AJ Barner can come back. Trevor Keegan and Zinter both technically can come back. A lot of guys, might do it. There's a handful of guys in the portal that are very, very interested in Michigan. And a few guys that are going to be very surprising. Like, whoa, wait, they're actually coming to Michigan. One or two are floated out there a lot. Let's just say I Won't Back Down. Great song. And there's a few other guys out there that are very interested in it, that are openly offered by Ohio State. Ohio State are talking about how good they are right now. And little do they know, they're probably going to go to the guys in maize and blue if people don't come back. Obviously, we've got our sights set on the mighty Iowa Hawkeyes coming up this week. I think we'll do game previews in a bit, but very excited. It was a good response from the Michigan defense when Will Johnson got hurt after one of the craziest catches of all time by Marv. I always say this, and I think it's a very interesting way the rivalry works. I have no problem talking about how much I like Ohio State players. Like, Marvin Harrison is one of the coolest players of all time. I wish it was snowing for the photo when he did it, because he caught it and just stood up motionless, just archered. If there was like snow in the background, that'd been badass.
And it snowed the next day.
Right?
Exactly. It snowed the next day, of course.
Because he's just like a Grim Reaper. Right? He's like a Terminator out there. Him being on the Bears is going to be annoying. Hopefully the Cardinals draft him and I don't have to deal with him. Yeah, Sharon Moore was doing the thing. The drive I was looking for Michigan to do against Penn State, the entire game happened in this game. Ohio State scores the touchdown. Marv basically walks in. Why was he being guarded by a linebacker in his zone? God knows. The amount of times Marv was unguarded was kind of crazy. He had like one contested catch the entire game. But when you look at that next drive, Michigan got the ball with 8 minutes left. They walked down the field, dinking and dunking, running it down their throat, all of the above. And while they didn't ice the game, which would have been awesome, I think the ending obviously was better for me overall. I was still scared the entire time at that last drive when they had the ball. Clearly, you got to be, right? I was like, this is the Notre Dame game all over again, where Notre Dame, under the lights game, like I was mentioning earlier, they kicked the field goal. Michigan got the ball down 6, and then they had the Roy Roundtree touchdown in the end zone. If I was, when they came out to go for it on the 4th and 4, I was like, this is it. Like, I have a feeling they're going to go for it. They're going to pull out some crazy trick play and do it. It'll be interesting. I'm surprised they didn't use Alex Orji a bit more. I knew all the whole plan along was to have him be like the break in case of emergency. He came out right after the second half and had those 2 quick runs. He's going to be fun. I love that he's the gunner. He did run into our punter earlier in the game. That was almost catastrophic.
Same with the return man. Somebody ran a teammate.
Twice.
Twice.
Samaj and him hit each other.
Yep. I was like,
Samaj.
Can we not catch a break here? They keep running into each other.
Yeah, like, what is going on?
Samaj with an all-time post-game video that has been deleted. I'm pretty sure his mom beat his ass, but he's like, I'm saying it. And he was like, I'm saying what everyone's thinking. And he went crazy, called out Marvin Harrison, maybe Sonny Styles, but probably Kyle McCord.
He called out Kyle McCord, not Sonny.
I'd assume it was Kyle McCord, but Sonny Styles too got put on an island by Corum. Great tweet. It's not on Sonny Styles that he couldn't see that midget over the line. Very funny line, I thought, because Corum appeared out of nowhere because dude's like 5'4". But happy birthday to Blake Corum. Did a great job. And on to Iowa.
Yeah.
I got to add one other thing. So it was pretty cool. I actually sat next to the Michigan killer at the game on Saturday. JT Barrett.
Cornelius Johnson.
So it was pretty cool. And I will say that someone who had no idea that JT was sitting there just randomly yelled, JT was short. And his mom, I thought, was going to jump through the crowd and beat the shit out of this guy. But no, JT was I'll say this is the state of the program and how he felt about it. He left with 3 minutes left in the game before you guys even kicked the field goal to go up by 6. He was just like, hey, Cleveland, I don't know if he went to the field. I don't know what he did, but he walked out of his seat. And I was like, yep, pretty much how you feel about this team. So, yeah.
No, let's move on. Let's talk
Yeah.
a little bit about games. There wasn't a whole lot everybody watched. I watched the end of that Washington game, which was close. Again,
What
kind
a
of
play call.
Yeah.
Oh my
What a
God.
play call on 4th and 4 where they kind of ran a fake handoff and then he just like flipped it backwards.
Just-
Nails.
Nails.
What did I say last week?
There is a team
in purple that is winning close games.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll talk about it in a minute, but
Yeah.
I'm excited for this weekend.
Yeah.
Cam Ward, future Wolverine.
The other game, Alabama Auburn. Auburn with a chance to, put the nail in the coffin for Alabama for the season.
Okay, I'm just going to say this as an Ohio State fan. If that had happened on Saturday at Michigan, I think I'd still be sitting in Michigan Stadium, just like staring at the field.
Yeah,
Auburn had. Defense.
I just would have been like, cancel the rest of the rivalry. It's over.
Auburn had 92 total passing yards the entire game, and they ran the ball for almost 300 yards.
Peyton Thorne, RB1.
Sure. Yeah, he was running the ball more than throwing the ball, and it was an electric game. They had so many opportunities to pull away, and they just let Alabama come back and back and back. And in a rivalry game like that, you can't keep people around because they're just going to bite you at the end.
Does anyone feel like that this is the same Alabama team as last year?
I would say they're worse because you don't have like the generational talent on either side. But
agreed. But what I'm saying is Bryce Young last year did everything for them, and now Milroe is doing everything for them. He was their leading rusher, their leading passer.
Like if it's not for the muff punt, they're not there.
Probably.
I don't know. They can't run the football at all. I mean, McClellan, I took in the second round of our fantasy league, maybe even in our first round.
He's not playing. He's not playing this week. I think.
Not?
I don't think so. They said
he was
very
bad anyway. Their O-line was supposed to be this unbelievable O-line. They were 69th out of 69.
Milroe runs everywhere. Milroe runs everywhere. He's saving the game on his feet.
That's why I don't hate the defense they ran. Yeah. Because if you blitz Milroe, I thought he was going to pump that. First of all, I thought he was going to pump it and run it in the end zone. The fact
that's what they thought too. That's what they thought too.
Yeah. If we're talking about push-offs, which I don't even know what you're pushing off talking about OPI. I mean, he pushed him off. You're not going to throw a flag there, obviously, but who cares? I mean, listen, if the SEC championship game was a dead Alabama versus Georgia, it would have sucked. The fact that it's a play-in game is awesome. And the fact that the scenario exists where there's no SEC teams in the playoff would be awesome.
Okay. How
awesome.
I got to ask, what is your scenario for no SEC teams?
Washington, Florida State win. Texas wins. Alabama wins. It would be between Texas and Alabama.
And you got to put
it would
Texas.
be a nasty precedent to put in Texas over Bama. But obviously, I could still see it happening. Yeah. And that would mean I'd play Bama in round 1 in the Rose Bowl, and I would not like that.
But do you not think that Georgia would still go?
No. This idea that Georgia is in if they lose, they need a lot of help. That's just me.
Yeah.
I guess you could say in that scenario, you would leave Oregon out and you'd put in Texas and Bama. It'd be hard to explain Bama or Georgia beating Oregon, avenging their loss, and getting jumped by 2 teams. That'd be very interesting. The committee is on their hands and knees begging for Florida State to lose because that clears everything up.
Oh, I mean, they really honestly do not want to put Florida State in this.
Mind you.
They don't. They do not.
I am maybe the number 1 Seminole fan this week. So let's go, Knowles. I would love to see you in Pasadena.
You won't see him in Pasadena. That's the thing, though.
Can I throw a little scenario out there that the ratings would go through the roof?
Oregon versus Michigan at the Rose Bowl.
No, Washington wins.
Or Washington, Michigan at the Rose Bowl.
Georgia wins. Michigan wins so handfully against Iowa, like 45-0. OK State wins. Louisville wins. Rose Bowl, number 1 Michigan versus number 4 Ohio State.
It'd be wild, but takes a lot.
What do you think the ratings would be for that?
It'd be probably
Not as high because everyone else is about to happen again.
Oh, I think that it would be like 25 million people.
Maybe.
That'd be crazy. Yeah, because the West Coast
Like,
people
I
are
already
probably
saw
watching
this,
it.
man.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, "What's this game? I think I already saw this
again?
one."
Sure.
Yeah. I don't know what the spread would be on that game like that, but it'd be wild.
Michigan -4.5.
Yeah,
Probably.
same thing.
Yeah.
Georgia, everybody's freaking out. Georgia. It was 31-10 to start the fourth quarter, and they just ran the ball. They gave up 10 points, but they were just running the ball. They had this game in hand. It wasn't very close.
I can tell your math is really good, by the way, because you said it was 31-10 going in the fourth quarter.
31-13, whatever.
Man, that great Sparty education there for you.
Did it real quick in my head, all right? 31-13. I was going to say
did it right there. Did it real quick.
Who cares? No one watched this damn game. Florida State should have lost, but they did. Okay,
yeah, that was the other game.
That quarterback went back in the game is insanity.
Yeah,
Buddy
he got
with the fencing pose and his eyes. Oh, brother, he needed Narcan with those eyes. My God.
I would like to address something about this Florida State game, and I'm sure everyone saw it in the fourth quarter. This is the actual problem, and I'm going to go on a little get off my lawn old man rant right now. There was a player for Florida who swatted his coach's hand away when he was
freshman, by the way,
when he was getting taken out of the game. The problem with the transfer portal is if I don't like my coach my first year there, I can automatically just get up and leave. Or if I don't like him 2 years in, I can get up and leave.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to say that that's the main hurdle around the transfer portal they have to figure out is some guy leaving just to get up and leave because he's unhappy with the program. You can't coach these guys anymore because that coach literally backed down as soon as he did that because it was like, hey, if I push this guy too hard, maybe he'll get PO'd. It's the end of the season right before the transfer portal, and maybe he'll enter the transfer portal. Yeah. Now, granted, he could come back, but that's the hurdle that I see with the transfer portal. And we've obviously, me and Zach have discussed this a little bit more than you, Blake, in spaces. We've discussed about the transfer portal, our opinions on it. I have a problem with the transfer portal a little bit on certain things.
Yeah. There's certain things that need to be adjusted.
Yes. Like if your coach leaves, go ahead and leave. But something like that, the coach can't literally get up in his face. That's another problem.
I'm always player over coach until I die. I'm just my personal experience in college. I'm player over coach until I die. Would have loved a portal in my fake sport.
Yeah. So the main player that won them this game, Trey Benson, 95 yards, 3 touchdowns, was running for his life to win this game.
Good luck against Louisville.
It was fun to watch.
You know what? It's disrespectful, and old heads hate it. Them cutting up the turf after was kind of fire. I don't care.
And they do it. No, they do it every year, and then the police had to try to stop them, but they put it in a game cemetery.
Shout out that chick that had the knife on her. She's a beast.
Yeah. Like they put a game cemetery of every game that they won. It's just tradition, and they just.
And I saw this beforehand. I'm gonna try to pull it up because my guy Gmo sent it to me. Let me see if I can pull it up. It was very, very, very funny. Let's see how long we've been going here. How long ago would it have been? Okay. Keep talking real quick. If I find out, I'll jump in.
Yeah. So then we'll just go into the next game. LSU with a crazy Heisman kind of moment for Daniels. They were down 24-14. I see people freaking out on Twitter that, Texas A&M is going to do it. They're going to beat LSU. And then the offense turns it up a notch.
Yep.
And the offense turned it up a notch. Their defense started playing a little bit better. So it went from 24-14 to 42-30. They turned it up a notch. And there's a reason that he's now considerably one of the 2 people that are probably the favorite, I would say, for the Heisman right now.
I still think with the extra week, it comes down to Nix against Penix.
Yeah, I agree.
Winner of the game wins it. I think both are going to shell out. I think it's going to be a great game on Friday night. Outside of that, I mean, Daniels is awesome. I didn't really watch most of this game. I actually had a different game on.
Wasn't it a noon game, Daniels?
I don't even know.
Yeah, it
I had
was.
no idea.
Yeah.
Um,
The machine scoreboard now. We have the other games in the top corner.
What it does, it keeps it up there the whole game.
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
That's
did
unique.
it?
Yeah.
I didn't.
The right side of the scoreboard, the left side stats, and the right side is other games.
And it just keeps rotating. Oh, that's cool.
We even talk about our boy Slippery Rocks. Respect D3. But I found the tweet. It was Florida fired their nutrition coordinator just now, and Miami is like they fired their lunch lady too. That's tough.
Hey, real quick, we do have to give
no one is safe.
We do have to give some respect to D3 powerhouse. Alma upsetting Mount Union the other day, which is pretty sick. They said they felt like they had no chance. Yeah, they said they had no chance, and like they came out there and shocked the world. So, and they were projected to win the D3 championship.
I mean, are you just like, are you like pissing on our graves over here in Ohio? Like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Alma football, baby. A Michigan legendary school.
While we're on off-brand stuff, shout out Bryce Underwood with a questionable performance in a very important game and let his team down. You're going to be so perfect for LSU. It's not even funny.
Oh, well, and while we're on the off topic, YSU, baby, with a big win over Duquesne in the playoffs, and now go to another
only
team.
Hope for any playoffs for the entire state of Ohio football. Shout out Youngstown.
They have postseason to lead. They have the only Big Ten championship, or not Big Ten, MAC champion teams.
So Duquesne this week beat a team from Pittsburgh, and now we're going to Philly this week. Go beat Villanova. Yeah. Big game.
Basketball sucks. So
Villanova football is kind of a powerhouse.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Kid got drafted the Bills.
All right, let's go through the conference the week of champions.
I was going to say, can we talk about Louisville just blowing the game against Kentucky?
Yeah,
I mean, real briefly, they have every opportunity in front of them. I'm pretty sure with this a noon kickoff. This was noon, right?
Yep. I don't know.
Okay, that is the one game I did see on the scoreboard. Yes. Look, Louisville had everything in front of them. They had a very, very, very outside shot if they beat Florida State in the ACC title game to go to the playoffs, and then you lose at home to Kentucky.
Yeah. I remember somebody talking about it in the morning. They said, hey,
now considering what we knew about Kentucky, probably their coach being gone.
Yeah. Like,
it makes it way worse. If I was in the committee, that's the type of thing I would put into effect and be like, Louisville, you're done. Like, I know you're done, but like, dude, you're 50. You lost to a coachless team. Imagine losing to a team without their coach.
All right, we'll start off the game, the Friday night slate.
Let me start this one off. This is the real America's team. Some frauds out here are talking about, by America's team, I mean G5 team. Some frauds talk about the JMU Dukes. If your coach is getting poached by freaking Indiana, you're an unserious organization. All right, the real team and God's team is the Liberty Flames, and they are putting belt to ass against New Mexico State, who beat an SEC team. All right, Caden Salter, learn the name. If this kid goes in the portal, he's going to be the next guy out there, okay? Grayson McCall, my ass, all right? Caden Salter is sick. These guys are going crazy. By the way, Grayson McCall's old coach runs the show for Liberty. They are very fun. You can watch them for the first hour before the real boys play at 8. Liberty is going to kick some ass. They already beat these guys this year. This is going to be a hell of a football game. I don't know if anyone's watched as much Liberty as me. He's basically, the context is he's my fantasy quarterback. He was the second leading scorer all players this year behind Jaden Daniels. This kid can ball.
Well,
can I also say this? I believe, if I'm want to be correct, is this game being played at Liberty?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so New Mexico State, just to let everyone know, did play at Liberty already and lost by 16. The line is only 11. I'm taking Liberty to cover.
Also,
flame on.
I'm not an idiot.
Flame on.
How has New Mexico State played 13 games already?
You are not an idiot. That is correct.
I was counting earlier, and I was like, I see 13.
Who'd they play? Okay. Oh, they played Hawaii. They get an extra game.
Yeah, they get an extra game because they played Hawaii.
How does that work?
Oh, Oregon gets it next year because they play Hawaii. You get an extra game.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Why?
I don't know. Why? I love how you're just like, why?
Well, I think it'd be very funny. It's like if someone told you before the season that New Mexico State was going to beat Auburn and then play 15 games, I'd be like, wait a minute. Did you say playoffs?
So yeah, Oregon gets an extra game next year because they play Hawaii. I don't know how that works.
Godspeed, 6 and 7. Good for them.
Yeah, extra little bit of work. I feel like that's, I don't know. Yeah, and then we'll move on. It sounds like we're all on the Liberty side.
Oh, we're on Liberty. Yep.
We'll move on to the big game of the day with major playoff implications. Oregon, Washington in Vegas. The line is currently 10 points. Oregon's favored. Blake, start it off. Let's hear it.
I want to go last.
Okay, Cozy, start it off.
Purple Rain, baby. Let's go. Let's go, Huskies.
Yeah,
I got to do a big shout out to Dubs Nation. He hosts some great Husky spaces. I mean, I love some of the Oregon fans. I love some of the Husky fans. I am so ready to welcome both programs to the Big Ten. In a sense, you could say that this is the future Big Ten title game. I mean, they might as well both be Big Ten teams already. Last Pac-12 championship, Purple Rain all the way. Shout out to my dude Tyler T-Dog on Twitter. He listens to our podcast every week. So shout out to him. Go Huskies. And let's I just can't wait to see Dubs out there carrying around the trophy in his mouth like a little chew toy. It's gonna be so nice.
So we're at that point in the season where I am cursed, apparently. Every time I pick a team to win.
You dare.
Every time I pick a team to win, they lose.
It's just us. You're good. It's just
so
us. You've nailed Arizona. It's just us. You're good.
If you dare pick Washington.
No, he's not cursed. It's just Michigan. You're good.
I'm taking Oregon to win. But I'm not taking Oregon to win. But I am taking Oregon to win.
You are taking Oregon to win.
I'm taking Oregon to win straight up, but Washington will cover this spread. 100%.
So, yeah, the analytics obviously love Oregon. It is what it is. I was expecting Cozy to follow the rest of his fan base and be disgusting Duck fans, all right? Because this Ohio State and Oregon, like, we're not getting graphic, but friendship here is disgusting behavior. I went in almost harder on more of these Oregon fans after us winning than anybody else. I'm sick of these MFs. Listen, I don't want to play you in the bowl game, but when we put belt to ass to you in Pasadena on the national stage, and we spank you like your father probably should have earlier in your life, I'm going to be so happy. But that being said, the Huskies have the chance to do the funniest thing ever. I know that's like the line when you want your person to lose, and not one team has ever done the funniest team ever, but I will tweet it again. I don't care. People think I'm ducking smoke. I would love to beat the shit out of the Ducks in 2 times in 1 calendar year. It'd be beautiful. That being said, the Huskies are going to get killed in this game. I will be rooting for them. I will be howling like an MF. Oh! I will get a noise complaint. I don't care. Oregon's going to win.
So I'm going alone?
I will go down with the ship.
So I'm going alone. I'm going alone with my Purple Rain.
Yes.
Listen. There's a difference between the head and the heart, okay? The head says Oregon because – they barely won this game. Things happen. Vegas can be wrong. Sure. Okay. Championship Sunday, it rarely happens where Vegas is wrong. Okay. I'm sure the world's going to be on Washington because it's going to be like idiots going to like, oh, what happened last time? They won by 3, 10 points. What are you kidding me? Vegas is stupid. Vegas is never stupid, but they're often wrong. Sometimes. About half the time, actually, because people like to think of it this way.
Wait, didn't Vegas have USC favored in this game last year?
Yeah, and what happened?
By 3.
Good point. They got the whooping by Utah.
10 is crazy. But that being said, I love the Huskies.
I'm taking the over. I have to take the
receiver in the country is on this team. Roma Dunze. Watch out. If you have any futures of this guy, he's going to go top 10, I think. I would not be surprised if like one of these other teams that are having a kind of bad year, like the Bengals or the Bills find themselves in the top 10 potentially. Great auditions for them. But yeah, overall, I think it's going to be a very interesting game. Oregon should win by a lot in every metric available, but their resume sucks. The best part of their resume is losing to Washington, okay? So there's a chance that the metrics are all broken, all right? Again, teams in purple just love to break metrics, but then again, teams in purple didn't win this game last year. But
yeah,
whatever.
So let's move on. First game of the day, noon. Oklahoma State versus Texas, 15.5-point favorite for Texas. Cozy, go ahead and lead us off again.
Okay, final Big 12 championship game ever. It's really weird.
Huh? Oh, for Texas.
Wait,
okay.
What? Sorry, for Texas. My bad.
I was like, huh?
Their
My
first
bad.
chance to win one since I was in diapers.
So, this is going to be their first chance to win one since 2009. So I guess you
I
apparently
thought it was 2005. I'm an idiot. Continue.
no 2009.
Diapers in 2009 for Blake.
I had a
2009.
feeling that's gonna come off bad.
Man, you were in diapers for that long. And you got to remember the last time they won was 13-12 on an almost complete blunder by Colt McCoy, where he threw the ball with 3 seconds left, and somehow it landed incomplete with 1 second left, and they kicked the last second field goal to win. Now, this game has been crazy, especially the last 2 seasons. Actually, the last 3 seasons. We've actually had 3 straight upsets in this game. I'm going to go with that trend continues. I am going with the upset. I'm going Oklahoma State, Texas, or beats Texas. It's going to – I don't know what it is. I think Oklahoma State just runs the ball a lot. They control the clock. It is going to be like a 31-27 type of game. It's going to be you know what? This game is like really weird. It has been an awesome game the last few years. I think everyone remembers the whole Baylor-Oklahoma State game where basically Baylor won it at the very last seconds. And
they let Georgia in the goddamn playoff because they can't score on an inch line, and I would have been able to play Cincinnati, and it would have lost in the Natty to Alabama. Damn it. Or would have won a playoff game.
Soon, eventually.
Maybe never.
We'll see. You
rat fuck.
I'll take a weird approach for this because I want to predict something crazy to happen. I think Texas is going to win, and Texas is going to win in overtime. I think this is going to be the game to go to overtime. It's going to be like 31-31, 24-24, and Texas is going to win overtime. We're going to see an overtime game this week, and I think this is the one.
Okay.
Something a little different. Let's do it.
Okay.
I would love Texas to lose. I think it'd be very funny. Because them winning the last Big 12 championship that they're in for now is going to be very funny. They're unfortunately going to do it. I think they win by 30. I'm not kidding. I think this game is going to be over from the second it starts. Alan Bowman is your quarterback. You were unserious. Okay, he was the 4th-string quarterback for Michigan last year. Ollie Gordon is a generational talent. Should be in New York for the Heisman. I don't care. That's just how it works. But Penn State's top 5 in run defense. They're right behind Penn State in most metrics. They're really, really good when it comes to that. Get ready to learn Keandre Sweat's name, I believe is the kid's name. Sweat, whatever it is, the D tackle. Dude's a fucking force. He'll be probably a late 1st-round pick, early 2nd-round pick when I walk across the stage in Detroit. Texas needs style points too to get in, so I think they're going to do their best to.
Hold on, did you say you're walking across the stage in Detroit?
No, we watch him.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure.
I think Texas is going to put the hammer down on this team. No Jonathan Brooks, no problem. The backup, Baxter is pretty good. The other kid just spawned. I don't know who he was. He did as well, like Green or something. They're going to kill him. I'm telling you right now, this is going to be an unwatchable game, but it doesn't matter because the better teams are playing at noon, and I'm sure Zach will lead us off on that one.
Better teams are playing at noon. You mean 4 o'clock?
Miami, Toledo in the
Max.
There's 3 losses.
It didn't pop up in my top 25. Sorry, there it is.
Disgusting behavior.
All
teams matter over here.
Why is Toledo not ranked?
There's 3 losses between these 2 teams. We have Miami to the other Miami. We have Toledo to Illinois, and then Miami to Toledo. They rematch now. Daquan Finn is the quarterback for Toledo. This game sucks because it's on Saturday. Disgusting behavior. It
should be on Tuesday,
Friday,
or Wednesday, or
and
Thursday,
it was
or Friday.
It should be tonight. It should be tonight. Or it should be on what? It should have been on Wednesday, actually.
Yes. It should have been any
you
other
do
day.
It tonight, what it should have been is, or you do it at like 6 o'clock on Thursday, and it ends right in the NFL.
Yeah.
I don't care who wins this game. I really don't. It's probably going to be Miami because the underdog always wins.
Yeah.
Outright. Because again, Maction is your best hit rate of outright money dog. If you're not taking the underdog money line in every Maction game, you're an idiot because these teams are psychotic. That being said, the over 44.5 out of principle. Principal overs for me are like 0 for 10 this year. Don't care. Principal over.
Yeah, just like last week, he took Cal versus Cal versus UCLA in the last game, and they lost.
The last time these two teams played, they scored 38 points total. Toledo won a tough fought game.
Indoor controlled environment.
I didn't even watch the last game, so I have no idea what it was.
Me neither. I don't care.
But, I actually, you know what? I did watch a little bit of this game, but I watched it kind of early in the game, and I don't think it was raining. I think it was actually a pretty nice, decent evening. I'm gonna go with Toledo in actually. They play some defense, but I think they can score some points. I think they're going to give up some points. I think this is going to be a. You know what? This will be here's the thing. No one's going to watch this game, and this will be the best conference championship game. Like, we're talking like triple overtime, something like that. No, I think Toledo wins kind of like last time, 24-21.
I'll take Toledo. I'm going to take Ohio to cover Miami to cover the spread. I don't give a shit. They're two Ohio schools playing in Michigan. That's how it shows how big of a game it is in Detroit. So,
free tickets.
Anyone
in the area should go. Great
free tickets. Yeah.
And again, Texas is gonna be a blowout anyway. No one cares. So
yeah.
Maybe they'll paint the end zones for you this time, unlike Sparty.
Yeah. Well, hey, that was because of the state high school games. They don't want
to. I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was. Free story.
Not like they've done 1 day turnarounds before.
You're missing. You're skipping over one. There's a 3:00 game.
Oh, you want to do that? Mountain West. They're playing back-to-back games, back-to-back days.
Some of us here respect small schools, and we're really seeing who doesn't. Freaking Michigan State, because they're competing with them for recruits.
Hey, they're playing back-to-back games, back-to-back days at Vegas.
Computer models of the Mountain West.
UNLV versus Boise State. I'm taking UNLV.
I was told UNLV was a bad team, and we should have beat them by more beginning of the season. Some of us have tough out-of-conference schedules, okay? Ignore ECU. They suck. That being said, Bowling Green beat Georgia Tech and is bowling in their name. UNLV, the other out-of-conference opponent we have, respectable program, okay? They lost on some BS there. They're going to win their conference championship, all right? Haters are furious. Strength of schedule to the moon.
I'm taking Boise to win.
Okay.
Boise being favored with no coach is insane, so you got to take them to win.
Yeah, I mean.
All that being said.
Yeah, move on. Georgia
legend, leading receiver.
Ricky White.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I will say, Mountain West, probably the last time we'll ever see this game. So, RIP.
Yeah, so we have no idea what's going to happen with them.
It seems like it's going to be the Mountain West with Oregon State.
Yeah, but they can't play in the game. They're not allowed to play.
They can't play in the game. So there's still going to be a game, but yeah.
Yeah. Georgia, Alabama, the big one. Kind of has a lot of playoff implications on Saturday.
Look, Georgia's going to run the football so much in this game. They may not even throw a pass. Blowout.
I'm taking Georgia. I'm doing the same thing. Georgia by 10 plus.
I know what you're going to say here.
Georgia by 10 plus.
Don't.
Okay, I have no problem with Georgia winning the game, but if they're going to win the game by running the football, then something crazy has happened. Alabama's defense is all they got. Milroe is a psychotic, comparing him with a chicken with his head cut off. Buddy doesn't know what he's doing, let alone what's going on around him. Okay, if he starts getting vertical, like if he looks like he did against A&M, this is going to be very interesting.
That being said, Auburn ran for 244 against them.
Auburn should have beat both teams in this game.
Okay, true.
Let's be honest.
But wait. Then by that property, New Mexico State, because of how much they beat Auburn by, I mean, maybe.
Bro, the SEC sucks. Okay, when Michigan's going to put belt ass one of these guys in championship game, I'll show you what's up. Okay, it is what it is. That being said, it shakes out the right way every year. Georgia's going to win in a really close game and break Alabama's hearts, and it's going to be great.
45-21.
I don't know if you've already seen the posture. Have you seen the
45-21.
posturing this man Nick Saban's been doing already?
31-10.
He was talking on Pat McAfee's show about how the SEC deserves to be in no matter what, because he knows the scenarios out there where they win and they're out still, which would be hysterical.
Well, Paul Feinbaum said that he would go march in Indy on the NCAA's office if they didn't put him in.
Good. So, Paul Feinbaum's been too busy under the table with NCAA the whole time trying to get Michigan out of there. And guess what, buddy? He's still here. So, but yeah, I think it's going to be a pretty good game. If there's an overtime game, it's this one. The only thing that worries me is Georgia's never beaten Alabama in this stadium and never beaten them in the conference championship game. Obviously, because the national championship was in this stadium when Tua made that awesome throw and killed Georgia. I'm about sick of Georgia fans, and I'm also sick of Bama bandwagon fans that are kind of exposing themselves because they're all kind of fading the abyss. I would love a tie in this game. I know it's not possible, but Michigan probably, this is going to sound really crazy, would have a better chance of beating Georgia than Alabama just based on how it works. I would say that we have a better chance of beating Georgia than Bama. This is probably a bit thrown back in my face, but I don't care. So I'm going to have to say Georgia's going to win. Very close, though. I think it's weird. It's one of those weird ones where I think Georgia can still cover, but the game's close, if that makes any sense.
Yes, so they win by like a touchdown.
Like Michigan would have covered 6, but it was still a close game.
Yeah, it was very close. Tulane versus SMU in the AAC championship. I'm taking the dog. I'm just going to keep rolling with dogs. SMU.
No. Tulane. I just think Tulane is, I mean, yeah, they were challenged by Tulsa. Cool. Whatever. It was like a bump in the road. I mean, Tulane's actually had a lot of close games, but at the same time, I don't know. They find ways to win these games. And they're going to another New Year's Six Bowl if they win. So I think that also plays a little bit into it. The other thing is it's a home game for Tulane. And this will be SMU's last game as a member of
the AAC.
The AAC, yeah. I completely mind blank. So they're going from the AAC to the ACC. So,
Blake.
So I want Tulane to win because we're probably getting their quarterback next year in the portal. That being said, if SMU wins, and yes, I've had 3 quarterbacks portal in Michigan right now. Listen, I'm covering all bases. So when I clip it up, I look right. Okay, screw you guys. That being said,
wait, I'm surprised.
What if you get none?
I'm surprised
Michigan State coaches. I gave them 5 coaches, and I was 0 for 5. SMU, if they win,
what about Dante Moore?
Dante Moore to what?
Yeah, it's from Michigan.
No, he's going to Virginia Tech.
Get ready to learn Mountaineer, buddy.
For being honest, him going to Miami would be the funniest. He's not welcome back.
Good in Scarlet and Gray, I'm not going to lie.
What I've heard, he's not good back in Michigan. Please take him at Ohio State. He's worse than Common Cord. If you bring in, you take him, I'll take Cam Ward. Sounds like a fair trade. If Tulane loses, Liberty will beat the shit out of Penn State in some bowl game, and I'm here for it because I want Liberty to play one of these teams and show the world what's up. Okay. It's going to be a great game. I think it's going to be a fun game. 47.5 is comically low. SMU, I want to get ahead of it because people are going to start bandwagoning SMU. I've liked them for about 2 years now. They've got that crazy psychotic coordinator that was the O coordinator for Miami. Rhett Leahy, I think it is. Rhett something.
Yes.
He was with De'Aaron King, one of my favorite players of all time, who just suddenly disappeared off the face of the earth. I thought De'Aaron King was one of the Heisman. I put a little bet on it back in the day in college. SMU has one of the best infrastructures out there. This is not the joke based on their past. Their NIL infrastructure is unbelievable. Granted, they were doing NIL before it was cool, and the black and white with the car, best show you money could buy. That being said, SMU is going to be the ACC championship game next year. That's my first prediction. I don't care. That team's going to be sick. They portal well. They do it all great. Best portal team out there. They're going to lose this game, though. It'd be very close. This might be another overtime game. A lot of really close games here. I think it's a field goal game. So I would say take SMU plus 3.5 by that logic. But I am very fascinated to watch this game, and this is why God tells you to buy 2 TVs.
Or have the quad box.
Bingo.
Yep.
Yeah, the quad box is the best.
Because there's another game on at 4.
Yeah, another game on 4. The App State where it takes on Troy in the Sun Belt.
This is
It's at
Troy
Troy.
versus JMU. Oh wait, there is no God.
Yeah.
Okay,
NCAA.
so
Now it's fun to hate the NCAA. Some of us have been doing it all season.
I'm just gonna roll with the underdog. They beat JMU. Whatever. App State. Just cover. Just cover this.
are you picking all underdogs this week?
No, not Georgia. Not
Okay.
Toledo.
Anyways,
Not Texas.
give me you know what? Give me App State. They're on a roll since losing their middle
Troy's
of the season.
good. I think Troy will win this game and cover. Troy, their coach is one of the next hot names around there. If we get a few more action after bowl season, guys going out, he might go coordinator instead of head coach right away at Power 5. But kid out there is a great job. I know they were talking about him potentially taking over at West Virginia because Neil Brown was fired in week 1, but Buddy out there actually had a great season, so good for him.
I'll say this about the Sun Belt Conference as a whole. Every year they seem to have a pretty decent amount of teams. This is going to be a hot take. They will be the first group of 5 team to win a road playoff game.
You think so?
I don't think next year, but I think in the future, the Sun Belt will have a representative to be the group of 5 team, and they will knock off the number 5 seed.
If you want me to be an asshole, I would say it's a Mountain West team. It's fake Pac-12, but
I was really actually going to think that you were going to say it's going to be the Conference USA team, possibly in the future.
I don't know. I think Liberty's going to get picked apart by the portal. It's tough to do back-to-back years in Group of 5. I know Tulane did it surprisingly, but I mean they lost Ty Spears. You can see he's been contributing at the NFL level behind Derrick Henry. Is kind of crazy, but yeah.
Here we go. The last 2 of championship week.
Do me last. My game last. Let's do
8 o'clock ABC, Louisville versus Florida State. What do we think? What do we got? What do we like?
Cards, baby. Cards. Let's go. Let's make this reality. Let's go Cards. I actually think Florida State's a totally different team without Travis. So,
wow, no, groundbreaking analysis.
I know, groundbreaking. No,
your Heisman quarterback.
I actually believe it. Believe it or not, I really honestly think that Plummer and Louisville as a whole was looking forward to, just kind of looking forward to this game and just kind of overlooked UK. I know that sounds weird to say, but they had already wrapped up the ACC. I mean, it's got to be tough. They're in an uncharted territory, and obviously, we know who the coach is there. He did a good job with the Purdue program, getting them in the Big Ten title game last year, and then he jumped ship and he went back to his alma mater. I mean, you can't blame him.
He wins with half Purdue players his first year. The narrative is disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, if they go out there and beat Florida State, I mean, hey, what can I say? Big Ten football. He's done an amazing job with Louisville. And I mean, at one point during the season, we were talking playoffs for Louisville, like not just mildly, like hardcore. Like they were in the middle of the thick of things. And then they went to Pitt and they just kind of looked terrible against
it was the week after we said it.
Yeah, it was the week after they had a total letdown. They beat the shit out of Notre Dame and then
fraud team.
And then just pissed down their leg. I mean, so, I mean, I'll just say, I really think they pulled together. And it seems like if you really look at what they did after they lost to Pitt, they went and played Duke and they dominated. And they've been kind of on a roll. And then they hit like this speed bump against Virginia where that Thursday night should have lost. There is no way they should have won that game. And somehow they won the game. So good for them on that. But every time that they've lost, the next week they come out. They are a well-coached team. He is a very good coach. So I think they get it done against Florida State this week. And look, Florida State, it's just bad luck for them because they were rolling. And it does suck for them. I do agree. But at the same time, it's like injuries do happen. And they've been kind of, since the injuries, mean, what the injury happened against North Alabama? Look, maybe I obviously he didn't get injured on purpose, etc. But maybe don't schedule like North Alabama.
Well,
They were down in that game, though. He had to play.
Yeah, they were down 14.
When he got hurt, they were down 10-0.
They were
10 or 14, 13, something like that. I don't know.
On CW Network.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Nasty.
CW, baby. CW.
Hey, die slow, ESPN.
Hey,
You got the money. You're broke boys. Die slow.
What can I will say this. I think Plummer is going to have an excellent game for them. I think that he's going to come out. They're going to I actually think that they kind of handle this game pretty easily. I don't think this is going to be much of I know I'm probably going to get just embarrassed and throw up all over myself when they go out there and get beat by 10 to 15 points. But I think they win this game by the 10 to 15 points.
Yeah, I think you made fair points there, but the glory and the crazy season that Florida State's been through, I think, continues. And they probably win by double digits. Louisville is kind of in that smoke shield of, are they good? Are they bad? Are they playing just bad teams and playing good type thing? Because it's kind of proven a couple times that they were playing good teams and they fall apart. And I think it continues here. And I think even though Florida State is going to figure out the quarterback this week, which they probably have, I don't know who they're going to start. It doesn't matter. I think they're just going to run the ball all over Louisville. And they're going to win probably a low-scoring game. I think it's going to be like 21-17.
I am so glad that I'm like picking every game different than you right now. I'm so glad about this.
Yeah. So I think Florida State continues. I think they're going to make the playoffs. It's bound to happen.
Yeah, before the season, I got a lot of flack for a lot of my picks. So I said Washington was going to beat Oregon in the Pac-12. I said Michigan was going to beat Iowa. I believe I said that exactly. It might have been Wisconsin, one of the two. I was between the two. Said Oklahoma was going to beat Texas, so we're wrong there. I said Georgia over LSU, so close. Yeah. And then I said Clemson over Louisville, but my second pick was Louisville in the ACC at 2,500. We're not going to talk about the fact that I said Clemson was going undefeated. Shut up. Okay, listen. I have Stockholm syndrome from Clemson. We've been over this for a long time. It is what it is. Clemson's using the portal now, assholes. I didn't factor that in, before the season. Whatever. In this game, I think it'd be very interesting. A name Ohio State fans need to learn before he runs it down their throat in the Orange Bowl is Jawar Jordan. This guy is very good at football. Another member of my fantasy team that I kind of added one waiver wire week. This dude's a machine. He just runs very hard and has a 75-yard touchdown like every game. I don't know what the hell it is. He'll just break it off, and it's crazy. He's one of those guys up there with Schrader from Mizzou that you have no idea who the hell they are, but they are damn good football players. And I don't know if Jordan wants to go in the portal and come to a real school with a winged helmet. By all means. That being said, I'm kind of with Zach. There's just some teams that have this deal with the devil that just win football games. And Florida State should have gotten their ass beat last week. There was zero reason they were in that game. Everything was going against them. Granted, you were facing Billy Napier, and you're going against one of the better coaches in the game in Brom, as opposed to Billy Napier. But I don't know. Florida State, I think, just kind of pulls it out. It makes no sense. I will say the backup quarterback hates Keon Coleman and loves Johnny Wilson. So if you can do player props in your state, mine can't because New York's a bunch of idiots. Hammer Johnny Wilson over for everything. I'm dead serious. I mean, this dude, the fact that he is 6'7" and has zero hands is a bit concerning. But if you think Kyle McCord stares down one read, you should see this kid. It's unbelievable. So I think Johnny Wilson will be a big factor this game. Trey Benson's good. Both run defenses are good. I'm with Zach. I think it's going to be Florida State in the under. But I do think it's weird where, I don't think it'd be a close game. I think you can alt spread either team. I think either team wins by a touchdown. And I'm sure you can get plus 200 for that. So you'll guarantee double your money either way. That's what I would lean. I don't know if there's a prop out there. If there's a 3-way margin where it's one team within 6 points, there's other one. You can probably do that. But I don't know. On America's team.
Yeah.
I'm not calling them that.
No, I don't think I'll ever call them that. Arizona won this week, but they're not playing.
America's best team.
Arizona did win this week.
They're up 30-something to 7.
They're going to beat the hell out of Oklahoma in the Sooners in the Alamo Bowl.
Yeah.
That would be an awesome Alamo Bowl.
Every
Yeah.
projection has it, and this could be awesome. I hope no one opts out.
I'm in.
Yeah, so 8 p.m. Fox from Indy. Michigan takes on Iowa. Snooze fest for the third straight time they're in the Big Ten championship game. Second time they've played Iowa. I'll start off with Cozy. Go ahead and give us your thoughts on the
45-0. There's no way Michigan loses this game at all. Like, there's no possibility. Like, there's just no way. I mean, there's no way they will win easily. There's just absolutely 0% chance. And if they were to lose this game, it would probably be one of the worst losses in Michigan history.
Maybe it'd still be the playoff. That's just my thought. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Cooper DeJean would at least make this game a little bit interesting because I think you can work.
Wait till you lose and Bama beats Georgia.
Sure. I've always said it'd be fun to have one of my dream jobs would be to run a hedge fund through sports betting, which is probably a very bad idea. But these are the type of games you would unload on. I always said it'd be like earlier in the season, anybody playing the Pistons, or you can just absolutely unload on games like this. There's literally
how is the line went down? How is the line went down? The line was 23.5, and now it's 20.
Might just get bored. I think we're literally going to use the second half as like a spring game.
The over-under is 35.5.
Harbaugh might be out there going crazy, but I'll tell you right now, Jim Harbaugh, this is the most personal game for him of all time. That rat fuck Tony Petitti, if he has no balls and doesn't show up, that's hysterical. That would, if basically this is the thing that Tony Petitti doesn't realize. If Tony Petitti does not show up and does not hand that trophy over, Michigan's going to win every single lawsuit against the NCAA for it being a witch hunt after the thing. So I kind of hope he doesn't come. But if he does come, the clip that's going to happen there from Jim Harbaugh doing some of the most crazy shenanigans stuff you've ever seen in your entire life. I mean, I'm saving my money for Pasadena, but the desire for me to go to this game was to purely boo this man because it's going to be like, like when Roger Goodell walks up there for the beginning of the thing. If Petitti had a brain, he'd embrace being the villain and would just welcome the boos because like Goodell's kind of almost welcomed it where he's like, oh, that's all you got? Come on, let's go. Like him and Bettman kind of embraced it.
I mean, Kevin Warren didn't embrace it either, so.
He's an idiot. He works for the Bears. Come on. Unserious organizations. But look, Petitti wants to do a stand. He was one of those bozos that let the Astros cheat. We don't stand for cheating in any of these sports in America. All right, you gotta stand up for cheating. It is crazy. What it is. Obviously Michigan cheated. Whatever. I'm doing a little thing there. But the one thing I want to say, I think it's more important.
You've admitted it. You've seen the light. Congratulations.
Yeah, he's admitted it.
Don't worry. I'll be heading the sand in the next episode. The one thing that's out here that I think is ridiculous is this is how you know it's a witch hunt against Harbaugh. And I have no problem with it being witch hunt against Harbaugh. If they just came out and said, look, we want Jim gone, I'd at least respect that, right? There are players, okay, and honestly, because good for them, that are like, dude, I'm not even in the portal, and I've got 30 offers, all $1 million each. Okay, like guys like Cam Ward, all right, the portal hasn't opened yet. Some people have already committed to other schools, like Riley Leonard going to Notre Dame, right? If that's not a bigger competitive advantage than freaking people freezing their ass off against UMass, Penn State, filming the sidelines with an iPhone, then we don't live in the same world. Yes, Michigan cheated. Yes, they got a competitive advantage. Sure, whatever you want to say. Probably like a point at most, okay? Because everything else, everyone's doing the same thing, right? They're doing it legally. We're just idiots not doing it legally. If you don't think tampering in the portal is not more of a competitive advantage, then we're not even seeing in the same eye. I mean, it's ridiculous. Like, come on. If Ohio State had Drake May as opposed to Kyle McCord, you don't think that's a bigger competitive advantage than knowing the other team's plays beforehand? Get out of here. Get out of here. Whatever. Michigan's going to cover themselves. Who cares? This game sucks.
Yeah, I will be in attendance for this game. So
yeah,
I hope it's
playing, and you're the only.
Yeah. Hey,
you're the only one going out.
I'm going to be non-real sports. Okay, relax.
I respect. Respect my non-real bowling sport. I'll be in the town, so the tickets were $35 each. Of course, we're gonna go. It'll be fun.
The SEC
for one team,
like crack in the 80s.
It'll be fun for one team when we watch Michigan win by 50. They're probably gonna have an orgy in the end zone, maybe 2 orgies in the end zone.
I think that there's a chance that every quarterback on Michigan's roster scores.
I
I think
wouldn't
I
be
try that.
surprised.
Harbaugh might just start doing like side quests in this game. But at the same
But yeah.
time, he could just be like full force, like Kylo Ren in Star Wars, where it's like more. Just like him, because again, this game had the best clip of all time. The ref cam last year when Harbaugh runs up in the ref's face and just like go.
But I will say right now, and you can tell me if I'm wrong because I don't care. Iowa will score some damn points in this football game. They are going to score points. They're going to score points.
You're wrong.
They're going to score
You're
3
wrong.
points, and it's going to
You're
be
wrong.
45. It's going to be
You're
42-3 final.
You're wrong.
42-3
You're
final.
wrong. You're
Maybe
wrong.
against all like the 4-string white kids, like at the end of the game, that are like Make-A-Wish kids basically in the game. But other than that, I don't know.
They're going to score 3 points. I don't
You're
care how it
wrong.
comes.
I am just
It's gonna
interested
happen.
to see if they have any sense of the moment, and like if Harbaugh runs out to many men before the team, or like dreams and nightmares, or if they play like the Imperial March. Listen, because apparently Michigan's were all whites. If it was just Harbaugh running out there in like all black with like the Michigan band playing like Imperial March with all of us in the white stormtrooper uniforms, that'd be hilarious. There's so many opportunities for memes here. Unfortunately, Harbaugh is like too much of like an old dad to know what the hell is going on. But like, think about it. Many men, 50 Cent, him running out alone would be unbelievable.
You're talking to the wrong coach. Like, there's no way that's happening.
Ryan Day would do that. Ryan Day would probably be gritty. Freak.
Well, all right, that's a wrap. The next time we'll talk about
What's your playoff prediction?
Oh, well, we'll talk about that once.
We do it right now. Why not?
Oh, we can do it right now. Yeah,
next week.
1 Georgia, 2 Michigan, 3 Washington, 4 Florida State. Yeah.
Go ahead, Blake.
Yeah, I don't care if Florida State wins. No matter what happens, the team out of the Washington Oregon game will jump them, and they will be the number 3 seed and playing Michigan.
See, I disagree with that because I would say it's going to be Michigan 2, Georgia 1, and then it's going to be 3 is going to be Florida State, and 4 is going to be Oregon. And I would not be surprised if Texas comes out of nowhere and gets the 4 seed over Oregon. I'm dead serious. That's the part I'm behind the whole time. If Texas goes nuts again this week, they'll have back-to-back. They won by 50 against one of their in-state rivals. If they put belt down to Oklahoma State, it could get interesting. It would have been better for them if they played Oklahoma just to avenge their loss. But Oregon has no resume. I don't know why they're at 5. Again, I do not know why they're at 5. They have 1 ranked win. They've got 3 wins over teams with a winning record. Okay? Like, it's bad.
You're talking to me, who should be number 5 probably.
Probably.
We both know that in the scenario of Georgia and Bama, if it was the opposite way and it was 2 versus 3 and Georgia was 2 and Bama was 3, or vice versa even, and they would have lost on the road by 6 points, they're dropping to 5.
And they would have put the other one to 1. There's no reason Michigan is not number 1 right now. 2 top 10 wins, 3 ranked wins. I don't care they have these fake, like Tennessee's a ranked team. Let's get serious here. They lost to Florida, okay? The rest of the stuff makes no sense. Strength of resume is Michigan. Strength of record is Michigan. Strength of schedule is Michigan. Better, more ranked wins, Michigan. Better win, Michigan. Better secondary win, Michigan. Michigan's second win's better than their first win, okay? I don't care if you beat Mizzou on the road, okay? Whatever. Let alone the adversity Michigan.
Oh no! They beat Mizzou in Georgia, by the way. In Georgia, they beat Mizzou in Georgia. Correction. So
they hate the Big Ten. They hate us because they ain't us. ESPN, you cowards.
I'm just going to say this. Playoff prediction: number 2 Georgia versus number 3 Washington. And as you saw my predictions,
Michigan's going to jump Georgia.
Michigan number 1, Ohio State number 4 in the Rose Bowl.
How would we jump Georgia with them losing or them winning?
You're going to beat the piss out of Iowa that badly.
I don't think that's
going to. The committee is going to look at it and go, we got to have these 2 teams play for a playoff game.
If anything, I think they would save. They'd go.
They tried it last year and it backfired on them.
I don't know. We'll see.
I don't see it.
They want to kill the Fox teams as much as possible.
But they're not. But the committee's not run by ESPN.
But I don't know. I don't know.
You saw who I predicted. I said, okay, State was going to win, and I said Louisville was going to win. If that happens, you might.
No, I get the 4, but I'm just saying I would imagine it would be Georgia, Ohio State again.
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah. I don't know. Hey, listen, the Ohio State parlay is out there. It's like, I think it's like 16-1. So have fun. But yeah, I think that's all we have. I don't know. Any other closing thoughts? Who should win Heisman quickly?
Winner of Oregon, Washington. That's your Heisman. Penix are next because they get an extra week over Daniels.
I think Daniels wins it.
And one of them
wins it. I don't care.
One of them will have, and I do agree with you on Ollie Gordon should be in New York, and so should Marv.
Marv ain't winning the cough, but that's a whole nother discussion.
He's not going to. He's going to get robbed of it. I know. It'll be okay.
Robbed. He's not top 5 in any statistic.
I don't care. He's the best quarterback. Look at who's throwing him the ball.
He's quarterback now?
I'm sorry. He's top 5 wide receiver. But look who's throwing him the ball.
Daniels.
He could play quarterback for us. He might do better.
Hey, we don't have a quarterback right now, so we have a walk-on. We got a walk-on. Who's throwing negative 3 yards? Like, that's where we're at right now. Everybody's in the portal, so we'll see.
Oh, and he's team big ears, which is great.
Yeah, I know. When you texted me that, I was like, oh, man.
But yeah, that's all we have for now. Have a great championship weekend to those of you that are not disgraceful programs and are in your championship game. God bless everyone.
Go Hawks. Go Hawks.
Go Huskies.
Thumbs up.
Yeah, go Huskies, baby.
Thumbs up.
Dubs.
All right.
Dubs.
Peace.
Peace.